Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. All right, y'all, welcome to the Friday Experience. My name is Pastor Lawrence Front, and I will be your host for the day. Listen, if you haven't already, so I got to adjust my sound. There we go. If you haven't already, please text LSMin to 24251 so that you can join our text group. Probably sounded mad loud. Also, if you feel led to donate, you can go to Cash App. That is $lawsuit. That's $LAWSOU. Or you can go to the website, www.lawrencefront.com, in which you will be able to donate and support the ministry. Now, the Friday Experience is all about giving us practical spiritual advice, perspective, even if you will, that is designed to help us live a more fulfilled life. And so I want to make sure that we are engaging in conversation that is practical and that is dealing with real life issues. And so, with that being said, if you have any questions or concerns, anything that you want us to tackle, man, I sound crazy. Hold on, guys. I don't like my sound. 1, 2, testing. All right, that's better. So if you have any questions or issues that you would like for us to tackle, please send me a message so that I can be sure that I am giving you exactly what it is that you need. Because I don't want to just be talking about stuff that's not relevant to you. At the same time, if you've been enjoying what we've been discussing, I'd like for you to share this with your friends and your family. Share it on your timeline. Share it on your social media so that people can be aware of what's going on. I'm not sure if a lot of you got the text message, which is why you want to join the text group so that you can be aware when we make changes. I pushed the Friday Experience back an hour because today is my baby girl's birthday. Happy birthday, Nyla. And we were celebrating. It's just that simple. We were celebrating. I believe in putting family first, and I also believe in handling the responsibilities of my calling. And so that's why I didn't cancel the Friday Experience. I just pushed it back so that we can celebrate with my baby girl. And she had an awesome birthday. It looked like she was having a lot of fun. And that's what it is about. So today we're going to talk about something very important. Primarily, we're going to be dealing with moving forward. We're going to be dealing with entering into the new. As you can see, the title is called The New Looks Different. The title is called The New Looks Different. And I think that's important for us to understand, primarily because those of us who are looking to enter into new experiences in our life, new territories, new chapters, et cetera, we sometimes have the tendency to not acknowledge the reality that the new is going to look different. What was old will no longer be, and we have to learn how to accept the reality that we are entering into a new space. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. I don't want to jump ahead of myself. I want to let the scriptures speak for itself in a lot of ways. So we're just going to read a quick passage, and then we're going to expound on that passage. And this passage is going to come from the book of Ezra today. We're going to come from the book of Ezra chapter 3. I'm only going to read 2 verses, but I'm going to give you the context. So once again, for those of you who are new to the Friday Experience, this is a conversation. Those of you who are watching on YouTube and streaming on your phones, I appreciate you. I know that you can't comment like those who are on Facebook. And that's okay. If you're streaming it on your TV, I should say, you're watching on YouTube and streaming it on your TV, I want to say peace and blessings onto you. You can always use Twitter to communicate. If I say some bars, you can use Twitter and use the hashtag FX Live. That's FEX Live. And that way I know exactly what's going on. You can also do the same thing if you are commenting on Facebook. If I say a bar that you like, please leave a comment, a post of some sort using the hashtag FEX Live, FX Live. And you could also tag me if we are friends and you're able to tag me. Just tag me so that I can see what you post, because I would love to see exactly what speaks to you. So if that makes sense, give me a thumbs up. And we are going to move forward with the conversation. And so, wrong one. Here we go. So it says here, this is verse chapter 12. It says, yet many of the priests and Levites and heads of fathers' households, the old men who had seen the first temple, wept with a loud voice when the foundation of the house was laid before their eyes, while many shouted with joy. I gotta hit play on that. And then the next text, it says, so that the people could not distinguish the difference. I'm sorry, the people could not distinguish the sound of the shout from the sound of the weeping of the people, because the people were shouting with a loud shout, and the sound was heard far away. All right, so I'm going to read that again so that it can be a little more smooth. It says, yet many of the priests and Levites and heads of fathers' households, the old men who had seen the first temple, wept with a loud voice when the foundation of this house was laid before their eyes, while many shouted aloud for joy, so that the people could not distinguish the sound of the shout of joy from the sound of the weeping of the people, because the people were shouting with a loud shout, and the sound was heard far away. So, what we're dealing with here is we're dealing with when they returned back to the land of Israel. And so the land of Israel was taken captive, the people of Israel rather was taken captive by the Assyrians and the Babylonians. The Assyrians and the Babylonians were in fact the same people, but they were of two different kingdoms at the time. And so they were able to go into Israel and take Israel captive, take the people captive, people of Israel and the people of Judah, because at this time, the nation of Israel was split into two kingdoms, the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah. And so the Assyrians took over the kingdom of Israel, and the Babylonians took over the kingdom of Judah. And so at this point, they are returning back from that slavery, and they are rebuilding themselves as a nation. They're rebuilding themselves as a sovereign government. And so while they were rebuilding themselves, they had to build the walls to protect themselves. One of the first things that they built, because when you are building, it is important that you learn how to protect yourself. I'm going to say that again because somebody needs to get that. When you are building, whether you are rebuilding or building for the first time, you want to make sure that your defenses, that your security is in fact solid. Not only that, but the wall helped to distinguish the land. So by building the wall, they knew exactly what their territories were. All right, so that way there'll be no confusion as to what space they were supposed to occupy. But I'm not going to go too deep into that right now, but that is a gem for those who have an ear to hear. So they built this wall, and then after they built the wall, they decided to restore the temple. So the people of Israel, being a spiritual people, a people of God, they saw the value in restoring the temple. And so when they went to restore the temple, anytime you are building a physical building, the first thing you have to do is lay a foundation. And so what they did was they laid a foundation, and the foundation was strong. The salvation of the foundation was sturdy. The foundation was a solid foundation. And because it was a solid foundation, they decided to celebrate, because in building this solid foundation, what they're really doing is now simplifying, exemplifying, manifesting the reality that the temple is about to be restored. And I want to pause here just for a little bit, because I think some of us, we try to skip the foundation piece when we're building, whether we're building our financial lives, whether we're building in relationships, whether we're building in careers, or whether we're building in our health. A lot of times we want to skip the foundational part, and we just want to start building nice looking walls and nice looking windows and doors. We want to look good without first making sure that our foundation is strong. Now, here's the problem. When you have a weak foundation, it doesn't take much for what you built to fall. I'm going to say it again. When you have a weak foundation, it doesn't take much for what you built to fall. And the reason why some of us find ourselves starting over and over again is because we have been building on a weak foundation. So what is an example of a weak foundation? Well, if we're talking financially, a weak foundation would be trying to build financial wealth to acquire stuff. A weak foundation would be trying to build financial wealth to impress other people. A weak foundation would be trying to build financial wealth just so that we can see large numbers in our bank account. If these are the reasons why you are building financial wealth and you are building on a weak foundation, many of us, we are working on our health, we're working on our physique, but we are working on it with a weak foundation. And what is a weak foundation? Well, we're working on our health simply to look good. We're working on our health simply to attract other people. We're working on our health so that we can take good pictures and that we can walk around half naked. And if that is the foundation you're building on, then it is a weak foundation. So anytime you are tempted to eat something that you know you shouldn't be eating, you're going to go ahead and eat it. Why? Because your foundation is weak. If you are building a relationship and you are building it on a weak foundation, then your relationship will not last. And what is a weak foundation? That is being in a relationship just so that you don't have to be alone. Being in a relationship so that other people can consider you valuable. Being in a relationship because you want to just have the title of husband and or wife. See, if these are the reasons why you are building in your relationship, then you are building on a weak foundation and it won't last. And so when you are building something, then you have to make sure that the foundation is strong. And so the children of Israel, they're building now, they are restoring the temple, and they're restoring the temple because the old temple was destroyed. They are restoring the temple because the old temple was destroyed. When was the old temple destroyed? The old temple was destroyed when they got into war and then they got taken captivity. And so when that time came, when they found themselves now in bondage of enemy territory, their original temple was destroyed. And so now they're trying to build something new. And when they're building this new thing, what the scriptures say is that the old heads were crying and the new heads were shouting. The old heads who saw the old temple were crying, and the new heads who did not see the old temple was shouting. And so what we're seeing is we're seeing a divide in generations. We're seeing one generation that knew what it was and is now weeping because it doesn't look like what it used to look like. And then you see a new generation that has no idea what it was, but they are excited that they're finally entering into a new thing. And so one of the reasons why it is so difficult for us to move forward in life, one of the reasons why it is so difficult for us to step into the newness that God has for us is because many of us, we're trying to get something back that is gone. It's gone. You can't get that old body back. You can't get that old marriage back. You can't get that old career back. You can't get that old house back. Whatever you used to have that you're trying to now duplicate again, you haven't yet accepted the reality that the old thing is gone. And the problem is when you are hooked on what it used to be, you find yourself being discouraged and you lose vision of what it could be. You're so caught up on what it used to be because what it used to be was good. What it used to be was nice. What it used to be was amazing. And so because of that, we have this temptation to try to repeat that which has already passed. And so when we hold on to old ideas, expecting the new thing to be like the old thing, we get discouraged when the new thing doesn't look like the old thing. And so the old people, they see this new foundation and they're looking at this new foundation and they're saying, man, I remember how the old temple used to look like. The old temple was so glorious. The old temple had nice floors and beautiful windows and gems all over it and gold all over the place. The old temple looked amazing. The old temple was large. And now I'm looking at this new foundation, and this new foundation doesn't seem to be as strong or as big as what I used to have. And so now they're weeping because now their attachment to the past is distracting them from the prophecy of the future. In other words, they are limiting their vision of where they can go and what they can have because they're holding on to what they used to have. How many of us, if we lose an old best friend and now we're starting to get new friends, when we get the new friends, we're expecting our new friends to act like our old friends. Or when we lose a job and then we get a new job, we're expecting our new job to be like our old job. The reality is what is gone is gone. It is not coming back. And you have to learn how to let go of the old so that you can make space for a greater new. The reality is this is now the temple that they will be working with, and it hasn't even been fully developed. And yet they're already making judgments that the new temple isn't going to be as nice as the old temple. And I wonder how many of us do the same thing where we're stepping into something new and it's looking different, and we're saying, well, this isn't what it used to be like. You know how, like, when you used to go to the club, I know some of us, we say we ain't never been to the club, right? Hallelujah, praise the Lord, right? I used to go to the club, and you know how you used to go to the club and then you stopped going to the club for a little while because you started getting focused on your life and you didn't want to waste money at the bar, and you didn't have time to just dance with random strangers, but you used to dance all night long when you used to go to the club. You remember being in the club when it first opened up and then leaving when the lights turned on. I know some of you don't know what I'm talking about, but the club is a very dark space, right? And when the party is over, when the event is over, the way that they would let you know that the event is over, other than playing some slow R&B, they used to turn the light on. And when they turn the light on, that lets you know the party is done. And you could remember back in the day how you was able to dance for hours. You never sat down, or you barely even got a drink of water. You remember being of a certain energy level. You remember laughing with your friends and having a good time. And now you got in your life together a little bit. You're doing a little good in your career. You already started your family. And you say to yourself, man, let me go back to that old scene. I just want to dance again. I just want to look good again. I just want to hang out with friends again. And then you go back to the club and all of a sudden it's different. All of a sudden it's different, right? Guys dancing with guys, girls dancing with girls. The music is all types of different now. They're not even playing the songs that you know now. The lyrics are all types of whack. The beats are all types of funny. And the DJ ain't even mixing like he used to mix. And for a lot of us old heads, we're like, yo, this ain't the scene for me. But yet when we stand there and we look around, we see so many people having fun. And all we could do is sit there and say, man, y'all don't know what this used to be. Yeah. And what happens is now we can't even enjoy ourselves in the new environment. Listen to what I'm saying. Even if you don't go to the club, you can get the point that I'm making. We are so comfortable. We are so busy reminiscing in the old environment that we can't even enjoy ourselves in the new environment. In fact, we can't even give the new environment a chance because we're so busy trying to hope that the new environment will look like something that we're used to. We're not ready to let go and accept the reality that things have changed. Things are not how they used to be. The old is truly done away. And the sooner we can let go of that, the sooner we can realize, yeah, I'm getting older. My body is not how it used to be. Yeah, I'm getting wiser. I'm not laughing at the same type of jokes or watching the same type of movies. Yeah, I'm getting smarter now. So I can't read the same type of books that I used to read. Yeah, I'm getting status now. So I can't dress how I used to dress. The moment that we can accept the reality that we're stepping into a new space and that the new space isn't supposed to look like the old space. Come on, somebody. There's a reason why the old is the old. There's a reason why the old got destroyed. There's a reason why the old is no longer effective. There's a reason why the old no longer exists. I can even talk about some of these church houses where they're trying so hard to maintain old traditions. And is there value in old traditions? Absolutely. But we're living in a new generation, or we're living with a new type of believer. We're living in a new type of world. And at some point, we have to accept the reality that the old, though it was good, it is now gone. Somebody needs to say amen to that, or at least say ouch. The old, even though it was good, it is now gone. But that's okay because now we're in a space where we can move to something greater. And so the young generation, they did not know what the old temple looked like. So any foundation that was strong, any foundation that was solid, it looked like a good foundation to build on. And can I just say something about this? There is some virtue in being a young generation. Look, I'm right in between. I'm not quite old, but I'm not quite young. There are some things about the old generation that I miss and that I love, and there's some things about the new generation that I love and that I support. Yet there are some things in the old generation that didn't quite work for me, and I'm glad it's gone. Yet in that old generation, there's some things I can't let go of. Like I love hymns. Yeah, I love the gospel songs. I love how they sound. I love the beat. I love the lyrics. The singing is amazing, but it's something about putting a hymn on that just does something to my spirit. I can't let hymns go, and it breaks my heart that the new generation, they don't know the hymns of the old. They can't sing the songs like "'Tis So Sweet to Trust in Jesus," or they can't sing the songs like "My Hope Is Built on Nothing Less Than Jesus' Blood and Righteousness." Yeah, they don't know some of the old hymns like "Great is Thy Faithfulness," "Great is Thy Faithfulness," "Morning by Morning, New Mercies I See." They don't know these songs, but they have songs that touch my spirit, just like the hymns. I can't let go of the hymns, but that doesn't mean I can't embrace the new. There are some new songs that is still doing something to me. There's some new songs that I can still be ministered with. And if I was so busy hoping that they would sing hymns, I would miss the opportunity to enjoy the new anointed music. And there are some old heads, all they want to sing is the old songs. But guess what? We are in a new generation and things are going to change, and the new is supposed to look different. Now, one of the reasons why it is hard for us to acknowledge the new is because many of us tend to romanticize the old. Hold on, let me get some water. Because I need y'all to get this. Many of us tend to romanticize the old. What do I mean by that? Well, according to this story, the old heads who remembered how the old temple looked. So they're old now. See, Israel was in captivity for about 70 years. And so when they got taken into captivity, they were children. And now they grew up in captivity. And while in captivity, they're reminiscing of what they was like, what the temple was like, what Jerusalem was like, what Israel was like, what Judah was like. They're reminiscing on where they came from when they were children. And it, I guess in their minds, it never crossed their minds that maybe the memory they have of the past is an embellishment or an over romanticization of what the past is. I'm gonna help somebody here. It's like when you used to live in a particular city and then you move away from that city. When you move away from that city, for whatever reason, in your mind, you never consider that that city is going to change, that that city is going to develop, that that city is going to not look like what you left. And then when you get an opportunity to go back home, on your drive home, you're thinking about all the places you're ready to go to. You're thinking about all the little spots that you used to hang out at. Or when you're on the plane, you're reminiscing of the restaurants that you used to go to, and you're getting excited about going back to what used to be. But when you get back to that city, it looks like nothing that you left. Now there's new restaurants up, there's new outlets up, there's new clubs up, there's new libraries up. It looks, the park looks different, the air smells different, the street signs are changing. And for many of us, just the fact that it changed is enough for us to start feeling some sorrow. Just the fact that it doesn't look like what it used to look like is enough for us to start feeling some grief, because we romanticize what it used to be. It's like when, if you grew up in a house and you remember having this big old room and sleeping on this big old bed, and then you moved away and then you come back to the house and the house looks a little smaller, the bed looks a little smaller. You never considered that maybe you got a little bigger, and what used to be big to you is now small to you, because while the environment might have stayed the same, you changed. Right? You are now different from where you came from. You are the one who has changed. And so whether it is your environment that's changing or whether it is you that is changing, the reality is what you remembered it to be isn't always what it was. I know people that used to get bullied when they was in high school. High school was not a fun place for them. They were not popular. They had no friends. And then when they left their high school and they went on to college, for whatever reason, they start to reprogram their mind as to what high school was like. All of a sudden, the band was the best band they were ever a part of. Their team was the best team that they were ever a part of. It's as if they forgot all of the misery that they had back in that high school. It's like when someone goes into a new relationship, they leave the old relationship. They're an ex for a reason. They broke up because the relationship wasn't working. And now they're single and they're alone. And now they want some companionship. All of a sudden, they start to replay the good memories of what they used to have. And they start thinking that the past wasn't wasn't so bad. But in reality, you left for a reason. All you can remember is the good old days, but we forget about the bad nights, the rainy nights, the nights where you was crying yourself to sleep. You forget about how he used to speak to you or how she used to neglect you, and you're forgetting about those things because you're entering into a new that doesn't seem to look favorable to you. So we tend to romanticize where we came from. We tend to romanticize the past. I could think of those. I could remember growing up, not me personally, but I had friends who used to grow up poor. I used to talk to some friends, they were in the hood, and they couldn't wait to get up out the hood. And then it's like when they finally get up out the hood, they don't want to talk about the gunshots that they heard every night. They don't want to talk about how they used to have to watch their back because they might get robbed or they might get jumped. They don't want to talk about the fights that their cousins got into. They don't want to talk about mischief night when they were throwing eggs and batteries at you, right? All of a sudden, the hood was a popping place. The hood was an amazing place. It's crazy to me how we can make the old look so good when the old is old for a reason. And it's only because we haven't yet experienced the new. And what we don't know, the unknown tends to be very uncomfortable to us. The unknown tends to be a scary place to enter into. And so while Israel is in the beginning stages of building something new, they're looking at it and it doesn't look like what they remembered the temple should look like. And for many of us, we're entering into a new space, and this new space doesn't look like what we were expecting it to look like. We thought that the new space meant life was going to get easier. We thought that the new space meant that we wouldn't have so many problems. We thought that the new space meant that we was going to get more support. We thought that the new space meant that we would have more joy and peace. We thought that the new space was going to be something just glorious. And we never considered that with the new space comes new responsibilities. With the new space comes new problems. And even though the old space had its issues, the new space also has a certain set of issues. But because we're just beginning, we need to learn how to let go of what we used to have and start to be present for what's new today. We need to learn how to say no to what it was and start saying yes to what it is. Because when we become present in the new space, now we open up our vision for opportunity. I want to make sure you guys are with me because y'all letting me preach. I need to know that you guys hear what I'm saying. Y'all need to say something. You need to comment something, or you need to ask a question or something, because I'm not really here to preach to you. I just want you to know that the new, though in the beginning stage, it might not look that good. When you fully enter into the new space, you now have an opportunity to experience life like you've never done before, because this new temple was going to be a part of an economic structure that did not exist in the past. This new temple was going to be a part of a space where people were able to worship and trade, and they were able to network in a way that they could not do it in the past. If anything, this new temple was going to be the temple that the Messiah was going to walk into. Hallelujah. This new temple was going to be the temple in which Jesus was going to preach, in which Jesus was going to heal. This new temple was going to be the temple where the apostles was going to heal and the apostles were going to teach. There was going to be miracles in the new temple like nothing like the old temple, but they weren't there yet. They were still in the beginning of the new temple. And so the foundation looked like something that the foundation didn't look so amazing, but the foundation is just the beginning of the possibilities. And if they just recognize that this is a strong foundation, and if they let go of what it used to be, now they can think about all the new possibilities of this new temple. And I'm here to let you know that if you can let go of some of those past ideas, if you could just let go of how time used to be, if you can let go of how people used to be, if you can let go of how society used to be, then now you open up your mind and your spirit to experience a greatness and a newness like never before. Yeah, I know it might be scary because you've never been through this, but just because you've never been through it doesn't mean you can't go through it. Just because you've never been through it doesn't mean that it's going to be bad. Just because you've never gone through it doesn't mean that it's not going to be as great. Just because you've never gone through it doesn't mean it's not going to be as fun. Just because you've never gone through it, it doesn't mean it's not going to be as profitable. And so, yes, what you had in the past was amazing, but what is before you is so much greater than what is behind you if you would just give the newness a chance. And so the young people, they had no idea what it used to look like, and they had a freedom now to embrace life in real time. I need you to hear me. They had a freedom because when you let go, when you remove all of those limitations, now you can experience life in real time. So every time they laid another brick, it was something to celebrate because it's something new. Every time they laid new glass, it was something to celebrate because it's something new. Every time they laid new gold, it was something to celebrate because it is something new. And so with this presence of being in real time, they're able to celebrate more than they're able to weep, because the old people, they're hoping to build something that's long gone, but the new people have already acknowledged, we're not going to build what used to be. We're going to make something that works for us today. And I want you to know you have the power to build something that works for you today. You don't have to demonize the past. You don't gotta disgrace the past. You don't gotta ignore the past. You don't even have to forget the past. But what you do have to do is let go of the past so you can embrace the newness that is today. Yeah, you might have had a thriving business in the past, and COVID done messed you up, and now you got to start again from the bottom. Well, guess what? The bottom is the best place to start, because the only way to go is up. And if you could stay present while you at the bottom, you can now create something new that's even better than what was in the past. It may not start the same way. It may not look the same way. In fact, it may not even feel the same way, but that doesn't mean that it's something bad. And this is why we need to learn to not make decisions based off of our emotions and our memory, because our memory sometimes romanticizes something that should be dead, and our emotions tend to be uncomfortable with things that should be very comfortable to us. Yeah, if you ain't never had no money, money can scare you. I'm gonna say that again. You see, those of you who broke, you don't know what I'm talking about, because you thinking money is the answer. But it's one thing to lose $20, it's a whole other thing to lose $20,000. When you start making some, let me say it, y'all need to hear what I'm saying. When you start making some real money, now there's a fear in losing the abundance that you have. While when you was in poverty, all you was trying to do is gain. When you are in abundance, all you're trying to do is not lose, right? It's a different set of issues. But when we learn how to let go of those fears and those limitations, now we can build something that we've never seen before. I wish we can change our perspective about what newness is. I wish we could stop looking at newness like it's something scary, and see the excitement in building something new. You know, right now, because God has given you the tools to build something that works for you today, that you can solve all your problems if you could just be present. I'm gonna say that again because that's a bar. I'm gonna say that again because that's a bar. I might make that into a meme. You can solve all your problems if you can just be present. What do I mean by being present? What that means is recognizing where you are and where you're going. You know, it's just like how when you're driving, maybe this might resonate with some of you. It's like when you're driving and you was listening to music, you was laughing, keying it with the passenger, whatever the case is, and you missed your exit. And you're frustrated now that you missed your exit. You're like, I can't believe I missed my exit. And you're complaining about missing your exit. And you're making a big deal out of missing your exit, as if the GPS didn't already create a new route to get you to your destination. And you're spending all this time being frustrated and being angry and being upset about an exit that you missed, that you don't even realize that there's another exit that might get you there faster, because the exit you missed, you don't know the traffic that might have been going down. Y'all not here. You might not know the traffic that's going down in that exit. You don't know the obstacles that you skipped. There might have been an accident going down that exit, but because it's the exit you're used to getting off of, when you miss that exit, you're more depressed about what you missed instead of being excited about where you're going. I need you to hear me. Sometimes you need to miss that exit to realize that there's a restaurant right down the street that has your name on it. Sometimes you got to miss that exit to see there's a house right down the street that has your name on it. Sometimes you got to miss that exit to see that there's a business right down the street with your name on it. There's a connection right down the street with your name on it. And it's in missing the exit that you find something new that's even better than what you used to have. Sometimes when we get in a traffic jam, we get all fed up about the traffic jam, and then it reroutes us around the traffic, and we're mad that we're going into unknown territory. We're driving down streets that we never driven before, not to realize that we're now entering into neighborhoods that we never seen before that can expand our consciousness to the possibilities. I'm not hearing what I'm saying. If you can learn how to let go of what you're used to and start stepping into something new, you can find out that there's better on the other side. But new will always look different. And if looking different scares you, because that's a real thing, y'all with me still, right? If looking different scares you, then I would want you to recognize the reality that the only thing constant and consistent in this life is change. The only thing constant and consistent in this life is change. I don't care how much you like it. I don't care how much you love it. At some point, it is going to change. You might be in the best shape of your life. You had the body that you always dreamed of. It's only a matter of time until that body changes. You're in the best relationship. Everything in your relationship is going smooth. It's only but a matter of time until that relationship changes. You're in your dream job. You're working the job of your dream. It only takes but a few moments for that dream job to now change. And the thing is, we don't have to fear the change, because change doesn't mean that you're going backwards. Change simply means that you're going different. And different sometimes is a good thing. It's all right to appreciate what you used to have, but learn how to anticipate what you're about to get. Learn how to be excited about what you about. I'm preaching right now because y'all ain't talking to me, right? Learn how to be excited about what's coming your way, because what's coming your way is exactly what you need for the season. Not only that, but what's coming your way, I need you to get this, what's coming your way is exactly what the next generation needs for their season. This new temple that Israel was building wasn't just for the refugees, wasn't just for those who was held captive. It wasn't just for those who remembered the old temple. It wasn't just for those who were born in captivity, but this new temple that they were building now is a temple that the future generation can worship in. This new temple that they were building is a temple where the future generation can gain a connection with God. This new temple now is a temple where the future generations can practice their sacrifices and their prayers. And so when you focus so much on what you used to have, you don't even realize that you're setting something up for the next generation. What God is giving you right now, what you're building right now, is something that works for you. But if you build it right on a strong foundation, it is something now that can work for your children and for your children's children. And it's going to keep working until it don't work no more. And when it stops working, what's going to happen? That temple is going to be destroyed. And then what's going to happen? The next generation is going to build something even better. At the end of the day, it's only good as long as it's useful. I know we like monuments. We like to hold on to old things, but it's only, look, there was a time where DVDs was the thing. DVDs are now obsolete. There was a time where Blu-ray was the thing. Blu-rays are now obsolete. Most people don't even have a VCR in their house anymore. When you got the new tape, that was the thing. These things are now obsolete. Now they're streaming in 1080. They're streaming in 4K. They're streaming in 8K. Things are getting better, but if you get so caught up on what it used to be, you miss the progression of the future. You miss that your present is progressing to something that you've never had before. And so there is a point where you have to say it was good, but it's gone. I need y'all to say that. I'm gonna make a shirt that say that. It was good, but it's gone. It was good, but it's gone. I remember New York when we lost the Twin Towers. We didn't know what New York would feel like. The Twin Towers was a staple of New York, and we lost the Twin Towers, and we was devastated in losing the Twin Towers. Driving to New York felt different. Going to the 9/11 site was depressing, but you know what happened? New York built itself again. Did it build itself like it did in the past? Nah, it's something new. It's something new. But guess what? It's still thriving. It's still got the energy of New York. And so when things start to change, we fear that we're going to lose what was so amazing, and we will. But that doesn't mean that we won't gain something more amazing. And so we have to learn how to let it go. Something in your heart, you need to say, I got to let this go. I gotta let this go. Some of you, you're afraid to move out of your apartment because you've been in there for so long. You know every nook and cranny, and you're afraid that if you get a bigger house, you get a nicer house, that you might lose it because you can't afford it. Guess what? Let go of the apartment. Just let it go in your spirit and embrace the new thing. You're afraid to get the new car because the car that you have is reliable, but sometimes you gotta just let it go. You're afraid to let go of the relationship because this is the problem that you used to, but you just gotta let it go. You're afraid to let go of the career because it's providing, but yet inside you feel like it's limiting you. It's not as effective as it used to be. You gotta let it go. You built this business from the bottom, but it's not doing what it used to do. You gotta let it go. Whatever it is that's holding you back, you got to let it go so that you can embrace the new that's better. Hallelujah. Listen, I'm about done. Let me see. Oh, I missed what Tamira said. Tamira said, oop, I came in late. It's all right. You can start from the beginning. It's all good. Oh, look at the wife. It was good, but it's gone. Absolutely. We just gotta learn how to let it go. And so how do you let it go? You gotta accept that it's gone. See, step one, accept that it's gone. That's the hardest step. It's gone. Your youth is gone. Those college days, they're gone. Your high school days, they're gone. They're gone. It's gone. It's gone. You have money in the bank, you have to spend it. That money's gone. Accept that it's gone. Accept that the past is gone and then anticipate the now, the present. Yeah, the past is gone, but I'm still here. Yeah, the past is gone, but I still have resources. Yeah, the past is gone, but I'm better than I've ever been before. And you might not feel like that because of the emotional connection you have to the past. But let me tell you something. If you're here right now, you're better than you've ever been before. If anything, you're wiser than you've ever been before. You have more lessons than you've ever had before. There's something about the present you that is prepared, more prepared for the future than the old you. And you had some dreams back in the day, and it seems like you're not living out your dreams. It's okay. The present you is more than equipped to build the life that you're looking for. It's never too late. But if you don't let go of the past, if you don't let go of those past plans, you know how some of us, we made some past promises to ourselves. We said things in our ignorance, oh, I'm never going to change. Probably one of the dumbest things I've ever said in my youth, oh, I ain't never going to change. I didn't understand how the world works. In order for me to do better, something got to change, and it starts with me. I can't expect to get better while staying the same. Yeah, it might sound good to say, oh, I'll never change. No, you need to change. Just change in the right areas. When you change, you should change better. And just because it look different don't mean it ain't better. Different don't mean worse. And so, yeah, man, accept that the past is gone and anticipate the present moment. Anticipate all. Sometimes you got to close your eyes and just envision what it could be. Envision with what I have right now, what could I make with what I got? That's called creativity. And some of us, we need to learn how to be more creative. We're so stuck on these fixed rules and what it should be. When we should be focusing on what it could be. Yeah, I saw a reel that said it said that he said that his parents ran a business and his parents would hire employees. When his parents would talk to the employees, his parents would tell them, if you didn't know what to do, how would you do this? If you wasn't trained to do this, how would you do it? And he said that is where innovation is birthed from. When you rip up the manual and you consider, if someone didn't lay out if someone didn't lay out a path for me, if someone didn't lay out rules for me, if someone didn't lay out a model for me, if I had to start from scratch, what would I change? How would this be? What would I do different? And that's where you find innovation. That is where you find space for true miracles, advanced technology, a greater future is when you're able to let go of what it used to be and start to embrace, anticipate what it could be. Because the past, it was good, but it's gone. It was good, but it's gone. I know with my children, like I said, today is my baby girl's birthday. She's 6 years old. She's never gonna be one again. She's never gonna be two again. She was so cute at that age. She was so cute. She was on mommy's hip. Wouldn't let mommy go. It was cute. But she's growing up. The past is gone. It was good, but it's gone. But that's okay because she's growing up to be such a lovely lady. I love how she's growing up. She's so beautiful. She's so smart. And she's growing up, all of my children really, the way that they're growing up, they're different now. But different is okay. It's okay. And so who is afraid of the change? Who is afraid to step into that new space? We got a new parent on the way. And life is gonna be different. You're gonna feel the temptation to say, "Man, when I didn't have kids, I was able to. When I didn't have kids, I was able to die. When I didn't have kids, I was able to." And that temptation to glorify, but the old, when we forget that the kids that we have now is an answer to the prayers. I'm talking to somebody, and that though life is different, it doesn't mean it's bad. Different is good. And so, yeah, as parents, our life changes. And if we can let go of the single life and embrace the parenting life. When we were single, we walked a certain way, but now we're in a relationship. Let go of that single life and embrace the relationship life. We were unemployed and broke, and we was asking for money. And now we got a job, and it's taxing, it's hard work. But we got to let go of that unemployment life and embrace the employment life. See, you got to embrace the new, even though it looks different. Because different is not a bad thing. All right, I'm done at this point. If y'all ain't got nothing to say, if y'all ain't got nothing to say, I'm done. We're going to wrap it up right here. We're going to go into our moment of reflection. If y'all ain't got nothing to say, nothing to add, no questions, I'm going to give y'all just a little bit of time because I know there's a delay from when I say it and when you say it. From when I say it and when you see it, I should say. And so, yeah, I'm going to give y'all a little bit of time, but we're going to go right into our reflection. If this was good to you, say yes. At least then I know that you're still listening. If this was good to you and you can type, say yes. That way I know at least you was here and that you received it all. But we about to wrap it up. We about to go into our meditative state, our reflective state. If there's nothing more that you guys want to say, then I want you to breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Again, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I want you to repeat after me. I want you to say, I am a child of God, and I am worthy to receive this word. I want you to say it again. I want you to say, I am a child of God, and I am worthy to receive this word. I see the yeses in the building. And so I want you to ask yourself, what is that old that you can't let go of? What is that old thing that you're having a hard time letting go of? Let the Spirit speak to you. You used to be so disciplined, and now you're finding yourself slipping. You're not eating right. And you're telling yourself, I got to get back to who I used to be. Nah, you can't get back to who you used to be. You got to move forward to who you're becoming. You got to embrace that. There is no going back. I can only move forward. I can only move forward. I left the city was popping, the city was thriving. Temptations to go back. Even if you went back, it would be different. And that's okay. And that is okay. Let's pray. Father in heaven, you was clear tonight. You was real clear tonight that what we had, if it's gone, it's gone. But we're building something new. Help us to embrace the new. Help us to accept and acknowledge that different doesn't mean bad. Different doesn't mean disgusting. Different doesn't mean moving backwards, but different is different. And that if we were to be present in the moment, we can build something greater than the past, even if it looks different from the past. In all areas of our life, God, help us to receive that, to believe that, to walk in that, and to figure out what can I do to be different, that I may create something better than what I had. Lord, in the times where we feel like weeping for what we lost, help us to learn how to rejoice for what we're about to gain. In Jesus' name, amen. Listen, man, we are done. Thank you for joining me. Uh, if you haven't already, join the text group. Text LSMin to 24251 to join our text group. If you truly enjoyed this, I need you to share this. It costs you nothing. There is no admission fee. The least you can do is like it and share it. If you're on YouTube, even if you watch this on Facebook, if you ever on YouTube and you log in to watch YouTube, subscribe to the Lawrence Front channel. Subscribe. These subscriptions help me out. Share this with somebody. Share it in a group. Share it in a timeline. Share it somewhere if you truly enjoyed this. But you are officially dismissed. Peace.